Again, it's hard to do a video without a cat in the picture. Good grief. We sit down and they come.
I know. They watch YouTube, cats, and I think he wants to do thug life.
She was showing me a video last night, a cat video, and it was thug life.
Mm.
It was pretty hilarious. What's up, cats?
Beautiful people. I love you so much. You guys are so full of compliments for me and just so nice. I love reading your comments. Thanks to all of you for the prayers. Keep it up. You're doing great.
Today we're going to talk about a subject that a little touchy to some people, marijuana. There's pros and cons. There's people that are for it. There's people that are against it. In our country today, there's some controversy as it becomes legal in many states. Some states are making it legal medically, while others are also adding recreational use for marijuana. And we live in Ohio. So just recently, Ohio has offered medical marijuana, and that alone. But what brings this about is, Val, she was diagnosed with small cell cancer, very, very serious. And when you're desperate and you know that you're doing anything you can to save your life or to make your life better, you'll take whatever means is possible. In our situation, we have turned to some form of medical marijuana, which is CBD, THC oils. And although it's not available in Ohio, we have had to take desperate measures to get that for her because it works. Now, there's arguments about medical marijuana, whether it works, whether it doesn't work. I think we're here to tell you that it really does work.
I can speak for me. I've probably got 4 or 5 different prescription medications for nausea that just knock me out. They put me to sleep. But if I take the drops and just lay down for 20, 30 minutes, they take effect. They take away the nausea. They ramp up my appetite. You can ask Mark. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want a burger. I want spaghetti. I want something. So that's what I resorted
And now,
to.
she's not getting high either.
No.
These don't really make her high. They just help her with her illness, her disease, her
The
situation.
nausea, I cannot even describe. If you've had the flu, it's like having 2 weeks of flu 24/7, nauseous, like you're going to throw up.
And these drops that we get are kind of a miracle cure to that. So let me talk about that for a minute. I think over the board, pretty much CBD oil. There's different things I'm talking about here. The CBD oil is made out of the hemp plant and it has no THC in it. And the THC is a compound that can get you high. You can buy that almost anywhere now. You can order it online. It's legal everywhere because there's no THC in it. It's just made from the hemp plant. There's a lot of people that swear by it. They say it is a miracle cure for things. I don't think there's any, it may be scientifically proven by some, but the medical board has not really come out and said that this is a cure for things, at least not that I've heard of. On the other hand, you can get the CBD oil with the THC in it, and that's what we're using because the THC has been scientifically proven to kill cancer cells. And if that works, then you can bet your bottom dollar we're going to do it. We're not just going to sit back and say, well, I don't know. No, we're going to do it, and we have done it. So that oil has a percentage of CBD and / percentage of THC in it, and it usually tells you what the percentages are. And that is critical to the type of oil that you get. Now, you can also find medical marijuana in different forms. A lot of people are vaping it now, where they have to have a vaporizer thing, and it's just like vaping cigarette or tobacco, I guess. You're breathing in vapor instead of actual smoking it, so it isn't like you're smoking a joint or anything like the hippies of the old day. You can do the vaporizing. It comes in edibles. They get like little gummy candies you can chew. Some people are ODing on that stuff because when you eat the candy, it can take a couple hours for it to ingest into your system. So you don't know how much you're getting, and a couple hours later, wham, it hits you, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I ate too much, and you really do get high from it in a bad way. So, it's not lethal. It's not going to hurt you, but it's going to make you pretty darn miserable. And I think, other than that, there may be a few. I think you can get capsules that you can swallow, different forms of it now. So medically, it's coming out across the country. In Ohio, though, I'm going to talk about Ohio right now, where we are. It's legalized, and there are dispensaries opening up, but not very many. There's just a few, and it's going to be, an hour drive for us just to get to a dispensary here. And for anything to be put on the shelf in that dispensary, it has to be tested in a state of Ohio testing facility before it's allowed to go on the shelf. So Ohio has been very, very slow about getting those products out there for us. And currently, oils are not available to us in Ohio. But they're telling me within the next month they should be on the shelf. So that being said, you have to go through a process to be approved for medical marijuana, and that process is expensive. I decided to do it because I wanted to be able to get the medical tinctures that we need. So I went online and I researched it. I even called the state medical marijuana board and talked to them about it, and just to make sure everything was legit. And it was confirmed that, number one, I had to set up an appointment. There were only specific doctors that have been approved to give a medical marijuana prescription or a medical marijuana card, which gives you access to buy the medical products available. So I had to set up an appointment, and that appointment was set out for a couple months ahead. So we waited and waited and waited. Finally, I had my appointment. It was like going to any other doctor's office. They had a lobby there. There was a fee that I had to pay, and they took credit card, however you wanted to pay for it. But they wanted full payment, and I think in Ohio it was somewhere around
$300.
Yeah, $280, I believe, for that approval, and that it covered the doctor's appointment. It covers everything. So you made that payment, and then when you were called in to see the doctor, it was like any other doctor visit. You were given a quick physical, blood pressure check, and they had you do a couple other things. And then the doctor reviews your complete medical history, so you have to supply that to them if you don't have it. Now, there was one guy that showed up there that didn't have his medical history, and they turned him around and said, don't come back until you have your medical history. There was another lady that showed up there and wasn't able to make the full payment, and they said, well, that's okay, but we're going to have to set up a two-payment plan here. And they said, well, it doesn't matter how you do it, we're going to take your money. It's the state of Ohio. They want your money, so you can't get away with not paying for it. I went in, I saw the doctor, I got a full medical examination. She was very, very thorough about going through my medical history and asking me a million questions, checking over everything, looking at my prescriptions that I currently take, what doctors I've seen, what surgeries I've had. And when that was done, then she briefly explained how medical marijuana works. and made sure that I was in full understanding of that. And then she sent me off into the next room where I had to meet with the administrator. And the state administrator talked to me about the laws in Ohio concerning medical marijuana and how it works, and just so I was aware of the whole process and how I could obtain medical marijuana with my card. Now, they didn't give you the card right there. It took a couple days for it to come, and it came through an email where you had to go through a link to print it off. I guess in the future they'll have cards similar to a driver's license, but right now Ohio is way behind on that. So, that being said, I guess I can compare it to alcohol. It can be used similar to alcohol in a way that, number one, you can't be under the influence when you're at work. You can't have it in your blood system when you're at work. If you're caught, you can lose your job. You can't drive a motor vehicle or operate any equipment under the influence. So again, just like alcohol. Now, a lot of people have this stigma about marijuana, that it's like a burnout hippie thing, like a stoner thing, and the medical marijuana isn't quite like that. It can be used carefully, it can be used wisely, and I've been told it by numerous sources that it's not addictive. I don't think it's addictive, and I like to compare it to alcohol in a way because even Jesus drank wine, but he didn't take it to excess, where some people will drink to oblivion and become addicted to alcohol or alcoholism. So the same way with marijuana, you can use marijuana, you can use it wisely in the forms that are available to you, or you can take it to addiction levels where you can get carried away with it.
Well, for us, it's kind of expensive. One of those bottles is like $50 or $60.
Mm-hmm.
I use it only when I'm getting chemo for the nausea.
Right.
So like 2 weeks I use it.
Yeah, so for you to use medical marijuana in an addictive way, which I wouldn't see how that would ever happen, but you'd have to be a millionaire.
Right.
You'd have to have a lot of money, because it is a very expensive route right now. Now, they told me the prices are going to go down eventually. Ohio's a big mess right now when it comes to medical marijuana. They're still ironing out all the details. They're not making it easy for anybody, but they are moving ahead. So there is a light ahead in the tunnel, and that's the reason that I went ahead through this process, because I'm confident that in the future, they'll have the products that we need. So anyway, that being said.
And I just want to clarify too, I did ask my doctor, I asked my nurses, I asked the radiation oncologist. He was hesitant. He told me they had a patient that did CBD oil, and it compounded his side effects that his body couldn't metabolize. So I checked with my oncologist. He did not recommend doing it, but they're not opposed to it. And that's because it's not been medically proven.
Doctors cannot tell you to take medical marijuana, because with their licensing, they're only permitted to perform and to prescribe those things which are approved medically in the state. If they're not an approved medical marijuana doctor, they cannot approve it. It would jeopardize their medical license. So, like Val said, our doctors have said they're not going to approve it, but they're not going to tell you no either. So basically, they're just staying neutral with it. Mm-hmm. They have to protect their own job. So anyway, there's a medical marijuana dispensary about an hour away from here. I got my medical card probably a month ago, and
just about, yeah.
But we haven't made any big plans to rush off and go there yet, because I don't know what kind of products they have at this point, but they were really slow on getting products on the shelf. She's feeling pretty good today.
This is day number 3. I feel like my old self. I'm almost like, okay, is the sky gonna fall? Is the bomb gonna drop? What's going on here? I feel good.
Yeah, so she says day number 3 of the 5th cycle of chemo. So when she says
Well,
day number
behind
3, it's been well over a week or 2 since she had the chemo treatment, and she's felt good for 3 days now.
Since chemo.
Yeah. So
usually that's how it goes. This is the last week before I start my next round, so I feel really good this week, and then I start chemo and get knocked down for 2 weeks.
yeah, so since she feels good today, I think we're going to take the hour drive to the dispensary, and I don't know that she'll be allowed to go in there because
I don't have a card.
she doesn't have a card.
I could get one.
Yeah, it's just really expensive though, and we thought, I said, because she's down a lot, and if there was something that she needed, I could go pick it up for her.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the reason that I got the card and not her, because she wouldn't be able to drive to the dispensary and get it herself. Anyway, we're going to go see what it is, check it out. I can't bring the camera inside. They don't allow video or photography inside the dispensary, but hey, we'll see what happens, huh? Well, we had a nice, at least an hour drive.
At least,
It was a long ride. But we made it down here to the Botanist. Looks like any other kind of commercial type office building. So, gonna go in and see what's going on there. I had to go online and print this intake form off first. Fill out all the information with my driver's license number and all my personal information. So I'll have to take that in. That way I won't have to do it when I get in there.
Makes sense. I'll stay and keep the car warm since I'm not permitted.
I don't know. I find out. If so, I'll come and get you.
Okay.
All right, catch you later. Okay, what an experience. My heart's still pounding. That was my first time in a dispensary, and it was pretty crazy. You go up to the front door, and the door's locked. You can't get in. But when you grab the handle, it sets off a beeper inside, and the employee comes over and lets you in to a lobby. They check your ID first thing, make sure you got your marijuana card, and then they send you to the back of the line, which was all the way down at the end of this hallway. It was a pretty long line. Once I got up to the check-in, the guy took my driver's license, my marijuana card, and my registration form, and he entered all that stuff into the computer, and then I had to wait again, and then somebody came out and got me and took me into through two locked doors. They had to have a pass key card to get in, and then into the main room. And I thought they would have like marijuana displayed in there, but they don't. They had showcases with all kinds of like vaporizers, and those went anywhere from like $90 to $350. They had, of course, ashtrays and all kinds, but everything there was really expensive. And right away they called me up to this other counter, so I went up to this other, like, in there was multiple checkouts there, but I went to this one counter, and the guy met me there. He again took my marijuana card, my driver's license, my registration, checked everything, ran it through the computer, and then he started to talk about what they had to offer. And right now all they had was buds, marijuana buds, the flowers. And they don't show you anything, they just give you a menu, and then he talks about the different strains. He asks me what my symptoms were. Of course, I told him nausea, number one. Well, he told me that pretty much all THC works pretty well on nausea, but some of the buds they have will lay you out on the couch, and some of them will have you cleaning house from one end to the other. So.
I need that one.
So after we discussed all the different strains there, they had one that was on sale, and it was $40, so I went ahead and bought that. So I got a book here which has all kinds of information in it, on just general information on medical marijuana. That was interesting. And then I came out with the brown paper bag, so I don't even know what's in here. I haven't opened it. So would you do the unveiling there and see what's in there?
Everybody was coming out with a brown bag. I've been sitting here watching.
There it is. It comes in sealed. You see there's the red seal on there. You can't open that till you get home. It's got the name on there and the company that it comes from, Ohio grown. It's got all my information on there.
Like a prescription?
Yeah, so when I get home I'll have to open that up and check it out. Don't want to open it in the car though. It's like opening a bottle of alcohol in the car. Open container. You can't have that. So there you go, my first experience at the botanist. Now I did ask them about the oils and tinctures, and they said possibly by the end of April, which is next month. But they said keep your fingers crossed. They said don't hold your breath, because Ohio is so slow, painfully slow on getting this up and rolling. So at least it's in the wind, so that's a good thing. So anyway, that's the experience, my first experience at a medical marijuana dispensary. Well, now it's time for the unboxing of the product. So it's got, you see, it's got the little red seal on there. You have to squeeze the sides and then pull the top off. There you go. It smells great.
Ooh, that's
very
strong.
aromatic.
Yes.
This is called Lakeshore Dream. Now, I know what you're saying. Okay, you don't smoke pot, so why did you buy that? My wife asked me the same thing. She wasn't very happy with me. This was on sale for $40, and I couldn't go out of there without buying something, so this all they had was weed. It's all they sold right now. So yeah.
I would have left and told them you don't have what I need. I need oil.
They said they're going to have the oils in about a month, so I'll keep checking. We'll look back, and hopefully next time we can get her exactly what she needs.
So what are we going to do with this? Give it to the cats? Sprinkle it in their food like catnip? Hey, I just want to put a little thing out there. Your last video, Let 'em Ride, none of those stories were about me, guys. None.
No, they weren't.
I didn't know you then.
If you haven't yet, check out the rest of our videos. You might like them. And if you do like them, subscribe.
Yeah.
Give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Yeah. Catch you later, cats.
Love you guys. Mwah.
I think he's bored with the whole thing.
He said, this isn't thug life.
Yeah, he said he wanted to do a thug life video.
You're too funny.